Okay, we have this problem, and this is section 8-1, and I've got an example here. We have a cylinder, which a cylinder has a base at the top and it has a base at the bottom. They are both circles. And then it's got the curved surface, which is around the cylinder, so it's shaped kind of like a can. Now, we want to find the surface area of this cylinder. Now, the cylinder is made up of, like I said, this curved part is the lateral surface area. And that lateral surface area, if we were to cut this can and fold it out, it would look like a rectangle. And then you would have your two circle bases. So we're going to find the area, surface area of the top base, the bottom base, and then the rectangle, which is curved around to form the outside of the cylinder. So the first thing we want to do, anytime we're doing a problem like this, we want to write down the formula. And we have a formula which is the surface area is equal to SA. The surface area is equal to 2 and then times pi r squared. And the reason we got 2 times that, this is area of a circle, pi r squared. We have 2 of those. And so we're going to take 2 times the pi r squared plus, then we have 2 pi r, which is, that's circumference, which is the distance around, which that means when I fold out that rectangle, that's going to be the length of that rectangle. So then we're going to take that times the height. And so we have our formula now that we've written down. So the things that we need then to plug into our formula, we need the r, which is the radius, and we're going to need the height, which in this case is going to be the 30, the height of the cylinder. Now, notice they are giving you d equals 20 feet. Sometimes they don't just give you the radius. Here it's got the dotted line goes all the way across from one side of the circle to the other. That is the diameter. And we need the r, which is the radius, which is half of the diameter. So in this case, our r is going to equal half of 20. And so r is going to be 10. So our r is going to be 10. Our h in this case is going to be 30. So those are the numbers now that we need to plug into our formula. So the surface area equals 2 times, and we're going to leave pi in there. Our radius is 10, so that's going to be 10 squared plus 2 pi, and then we're going to plug in 10 again, and then our height in this case is going to be 30. So we wrote down the formula. Now we've got our numbers for r and h. We plug those in. That's our second step. Now we can start to solve. We want to leave our pi symbol in the formula until the end. So we're just going to leave pi in there. And so now then I'm going to start solving the problem. I'm going to go ahead and do by the order of operations. We do our exponents first. So we would have pi, and then 10 squared would be 100 plus, and then in this case I can go ahead and take 10 times, or 2 times 20, I'm sorry, 2 times 10, and that would be 20 pi, and then we have the outside, the height, which is times 30. So now then I go ahead and I bring it down. The surface area is equal to 2 times 100, that would be 200 pi, plus, and then I've got 20 times 30, which is going to be 600 pi. And like I said, we're leaving that pi symbol in there, and since both of these have pi and we're adding, they are like terms, so our surface area would equal then 200 pi plus 600 pi, which would be 800 pi. And so now if it wanted us to leave it in terms of pi, and sometimes they will, it'll say in your directions, leave in terms of pi, this would be your answer. Now, if they want to go ahead and then use plug in our 4 pi, either 3.14, or sometimes they'll use 22/7. We would take now and plug in that for pi, which would be 3.14 I'm going to use here in this problem. And we're going to take 800, and then there you could use your calculator and you could multiply that together. And we end up with our surface area equals 2,512. And don't forget, since we are talking about surface area, this is going to be area, which would be feet squared. And so we end up with our surface area of the cylinder would be 2,512 feet squared. And so that is an example there with the cylinder of finding the surface area.